So let's talk about facing the bottom card. So this is basically a simple reverse that occurs during an overhand shuffle. So I basically just realized I never taught a reverse here. And it's partially because I use quite a few reverses in my repertoire, but you know I don't really want to teach the stuff that I use because, well, first off, it's not mine, and also it's just some good stuff. So you know I'm not gonna teach that. But this is something that I don't use, and it's in a relatively common magic book. So yeah, just why not? And I do think that this is actually a pretty useful reverse as well. So yeah, might as well. So this move actually comes from, well, one of the most popular magic books, like I said, and that is Expert Card Technique by G. Newgard and Frederick Browley. So this was published back in 1940, and yeah, this move is not credited. So in the table of contents, usually next to the move, there would be the name of the creator who created the move, right? So you would have the item name and then the creator right next to it. And you know, Expert Card Technique is kind of notorious for this, but yeah, it's kind of bad at crediting people. Like there's like 11 credits in the book, and it's like this thick. So yeah, only like 11 people are named there, which is kind of jank. But yeah, so this move doesn't have that. But as we know, according to Harry Reiser, most of the uncredited moves in this book is actually from either Di Vernon or Charlie Miller. Sorry, I don't know why I accidentally said that. Miller, there we go. So I reckon that this is probably a Di Vernon or Charlie Miller move. But this was actually not the first reverse done with an overhand shuffle. 30 Card Mysteries by Charles T. Jordan, published back in 1919. Yeah, it was a move. It was a reverse done after an overhand shuffle, and yeah, multiple similar moves have also come out since then. And I mean, just like the best example that I could think of off of the top of my head is probably Burp by Stephen Hobbs. There we go. So he published that back in Technical Toolbox back in 2015. So those are the just some sources that I want to throw out. But yeah, with the history out of the way, let's go into the basic mechanics of the move. So this is the original handling from the book, and yeah, that's I'm just going to teach that first, and I'll go into some finer details. So basically what you want is that you want the card that you want to reverse on the bottom of the deck. So for simplicity's sake, I'll use the Ace of Spades. So that's going to go on the bottom of the deck. Alright? So it's going to be on the bottom of the deck, and we're going to hold the deck in a right hand bill grip. Yeah, if you don't already know how to do a bill grip by now, I mean, oof, you're in the wrong place. I mean, I made a video on like guide to grips, so just look at that. But you're in just a standard bill grip, and yeah, have your left hand just relaxed. Yeah, approach the deck, right? And as you approach the deck with a relatively relaxed grip, your middle and ring finger are actually going to contact the center of the card over here with the pad of the fingers over here, right? The book just says like middle and ring. It doesn't really matter if you contact it with your pinky, I find. I mean, usually I contact it with my pinky as well, so you know, whatever works fine for you, all right? But yeah, now what you're going to do is that you're basically just going to continue this motion, and then you're just basically going to side jog the card. So this is just done through pure friction, all right? So it's just go here, and this just basically just slides it off to the side, all right? And now what you're going to do after you're done side jogging the card is that your right hand is going to lift the entire deck except the side jog card about like just like 2 centimeters, I think. The book actually tells you to actually lift it up by about 2 inches, but I find that way too much, right? So because 2 inches is like this, I think 2 centimeters is like this. 2 inches is like, that's way too much. Like that's like 3 decks stacked on top of one another. So that's insane. So 2 centimeters, I think that's a good enough distance. So now what you're going to do is that now that you actually lifted it up by 2 centimeters, you're going to start rotating your wrist so that the deck starts becoming perpendicular with the floor, right? So you're going to start shifting it into overhand position, right? Just by shifting your wrist. And at the same time, your left fingers are going to curl in, and this causes this card to again become perpendicular with the floor as well. So at the same time, this is what happens. All right. So now the deck and the card are basically in a sort of like V formation, right? So they're sort of like sorry. So they're sort of like yeah, they're just sort of like this. All right. So now they're sort of in a V. Now you're going to continue this motion until the deck and the card actually meet. So now they're just sort of like clamping down on one another. All right. And also notice that because the deck was actually lifted up above of the card, this card actually joins the deck at a side jog, right? So yeah, that's actually like a legit description in the book, or at least like a legit illustration in the book. Like they say like, oh yeah, this card should be like jutting out somewhat. All right. And now you can just slightly slide the card upward using these fingers. So you're going to slide these cards until it becomes trapped by your middle and thumb over here. So now you can release the card with your left hand and the card will still stay over here. All right, that's simple so far. But now what you can do is that well, the book never says to do this, but personally I think that when if you actually have this card jutting out, it seems kind of odd. So what I do is that I just pin the deck against the left fingers, so left, middle, ring, and pinky finger, just to square this card up with the rest of the deck. All right, so now you have this over here. All right, because I don't want to do an overhand shuffle with this. Even though the book tells you to do that, I don't think it looks nice at all. So yeah, just square everything up like so. All right, so now that you have this, what you're going to do is that you're going to contact the deck with your left thumb like so, and you're just going to begin peeling off packets. So this is yeah, you're just going to do your standard overhand shuffle. So you peel off one packet, you peel off two packets, and now is where it gets a bit different for your standard overhand shuffle, because now your left, middle, ring, and pinky finger are actually going to kick this packet against the fab of your thumb. All right, so you're going to kick it, and now you can see that it sort of flops off to this side. And now you're going to do another chop, this time on this side of the packet. All right, and we're just going to let it relax. Do one chop, kick it up, do one chop, kick it, let it fall, do another chop, and then as you have just this little amount of cards, you're going to kick the packet back up and then just place everything on top. So now your reverse card is back on top of the deck. All right. Also, if you're in a bad position for the overhand shuffle and you're actually running out of cards as you're over here, because now you're in this position and you want to throw this packet on top, just peel off one single card and then just do this and then just throw everything on top. All right, because if you have this much left and you just throw everything on top, well, this reverse card is actually going to go in the center, which is not something that they say you should do in the book. So just peel off one card, flop, and then just place it back down. All right, that's only if you have like a tiny like packet left. All right, otherwise you can just do your standard thing, and if you have this much left, flop, pop. And then yeah, that's the standard move for facing the bottom card rather. So for the center reverse, so here if you want to reverse the card in the center of the deck, it's the exact same handling. So here you're just going to do the exact same thing, right? You're just going to rotate the card and you're going to do just a normal overhand shuffle rather than that weird flip-flop thing, right? So you're just going to do an overhand shuffle. And once you've reached about half of the cards, here you can just throw everything on top, square everything up, and now you have a card reversed in the center, like so. So yeah, that's a variation that allows you to have just a card reversed in the center rather than leaving it on the top of the deck. So here's just a minor finesse for the move. It's basically just the same mechanics as the standard reverse, but I don't coalesce the reverse card with the rest of the deck, right? So it's the same mechanics. I side jog the card, and then I lift the deck up, and then yeah, I go into this V formation like so, but I don't pin this card against the rest of the deck. Instead, I just leave this card here. And now I begin the overhand shuffle immediately. So I begin the overhand shuffle, and this hides the top card over here. So this stays on top of the deck while I'm doing just an overhand shuffle, like so. All right, so this basically just removes the weird flip-flop handling while preserving the reverse card on top of the deck. Because the main reason why they do this weird flip-flop thing is because they want to preserve the card on top of the deck, right? But if you just shuffle cards on top of this card, you don't have to worry about this card because it's already on top of the deck, all right? So this removes the weird flip-flop handling, which I'm not the biggest fan of. And so yeah, that's just the slight finesse. And also, just as a slight tip, if you're having trouble with the reverse card not being squared up or not being hidden by the rest of the deck when you do the reverse, so if you're having trouble with like this, maybe right here you're flashing. Here, what you can do is that you can actually use your left index finger as a gauge, right? So when I do the reverse, this card is actually pinned against my index finger like so. So then when I do my overhand shuffle, these cards will also be pinned against my index, so that when I do an overhand shuffle, this packet is guaranteed to be aligned with this reverse card. And then yeah, this card is guaranteed to be hidden, right? So you don't have to worry about this card flashing because your index finger acts as a barrier for all the cards to be, yeah, just squared against one another. So that's just a slight tip that you could do for the reverse. One fun thing is that you can actually do this move with multiple cards. So I'm just going to take out the aces real quickly. If I have them, sorry, there we go. So if I actually have, wait, hold up. Yep, there we go. So if I actually have my 4 aces over here and they're on the bottom of the deck and I want to reverse them, I just get a pinky break above of the aces. So then my right hand comes over and grips everything above of the break in a right hand bill grip. So now this packet is sort of like loose from the deck. And when to side jog these cards rather, I just relax my fingers. I relax my fingers, which lets this packet just float into my fingers, right? And subsequently, this will side jog this packet. So then all I need to do is that I just need to raise my fingers and now you have these 4 cards side jogged, which means that now, because they're side jogged, I can just proceed with the reverse. Sorry, my hands are sticky, but now I can just proceed with the reverse, and then I can just do the reverse as per usual, which means that now I have my 4 cards on top reversed. So yeah, it's just, you don't have to worry about anything. It's just a simple relaxation, and that will naturally cause the cards to become offset from the original position. So pretend this is the deck, right? And if I just relax, see, it's already so much more offset than you believe, which means that I can just boop, go into the reverse simply. All right. So that is just the tip for the multiple card reverse for this one. So something that's pretty neat about this move is that you can actually do it with the Cloyes Palm. So again, if you're not familiar with the Cloyes Palm, you're having the upper right corner of this packet, or just this one card, clipped by your pinky and ring finger over here, and you're just gonna have your middle or index finger, personally I like my index finger more, just wrapped around and just contacting the upper left corner like so. So that is the Cloyes Palm. And so what you can do is that you can actually do the facing the bottom card reverse with just this with the Cloyes Palm. So you're going to approach the 2 hands together, and you're going to open these fingers over here, and you're going to jut basically this packet into this space, right? It doesn't have to be like pinned into the deck, right? It doesn't have to be like that. It just has to be resting on top of these fingers. The next thing you're going to do is that you're going to curl in your thumb, and you're just going to kick this packet upwards, and you're going to kick it, and you're going to curl in your right fingers at the same time to catch it in overhand shuffle position. So now you're in this, all right? Which means that now if you actually just do an overhand shuffle, you have the cards reversed on top of the deck, and that's basically just the multiple card reverse, but done with the Cloyes Palm, right? So one advantage of this is that you can actually ask the person to shuffle the cards, right? And they can actually see that all of the cards are actually face down, and then when they hand the deck back to you, you can just execute the reverse or whatever, and then yeah, just have the cards reversed on top of the deck or in the center if you want to. But yeah, that's the advantage of doing this move with a Cloyes Palm. And here's just a brief application idea, and again, this is just an idea, but if you actually have a marked deck, so you have like a marked deck, I don't really have a marked deck, so if you have a marked deck, and you spot the card, so you have the spectator name a card, so pretend the five of spades, so pretend that you're just, pretend that they name a card, and you show that, oh yeah, all the cards are face down, here you can just cull the card that you want, and you're looking at it through the markings. You cull the card, and that's displaced on the bottom over here. What you can do is that now you can just execute the reverse and just just give them back the deck and say think of your card, and then it's going to be reversed in the deck, right? So that's sort of a impromptu invisible deck effect, which is which is cool. It's just an idea that I wanted to throw in for the slight. It doesn't have to be like something that you use, but again, this is just an idea to pique your curiosity and maybe interest you enough to start playing around with the move. So that's going to be the slight idea with this slight. So if you're interested in card reverses, there's actually a huge variety of sources. I mean, I'm just gonna list 3 because, you know, why not? There's a bunch of reverses in these sources. So first off, there's Scott Baird's The Hermit Magic magazine, issue 1, volume 1, issue 1. There we go. There's also the 21st Century Card Magic by James Swain. So that's something that you could look at as well. And obviously, Expert Card Technique, G. Newgard, Frederick Browie. There's an entire section dedicated to reverses, so you know, reverses. So again, you can go ahead and look at that as well. And yeah, just go explore all of these. I mean, I know that I didn't really like go too much into like further reading and whatnot, but you know, that's there's just a whole bunch of like, I don't even know where to start, because first off, there's honestly, reverses of this one mechanic, there's like too many. But I'm going to try and list as many as possible down in the comments as that's going to be it for the further reading. Alright, so that's going to be it for facing the bottom card. This is a relatively simple reverse, but again, just because something is simple doesn't mean that it's not efficient. In this case, I think that this is highly efficient as a move, right? And I think that, you know, Expert Card Technique just contains so many more beautiful moves like this one, and it's just a shame that people just sort of neglect it because they're like, oh yeah, this is a beginner magic book, so you know, there's no reason for me to actually sort of read it. But that's not true, because yeah, it contains so many good moves, and yeah, people just neglect it. So I highly recommend you to actually just go back, reread Expert Card Technique, and just discover what more there is in the book. So the reason why I didn't say much in the further reading was actually because, hey, you have a lifetime of material in Expert Card Technique, so you know, why not just take the opportunity and just revisit it. But that's gonna be it for me today. This is treat this reverse well, and yeah, have a good day, I guess. But yeah, stay healthy, stay safe, and see you guys next time.